Thermo Fisher Scientific Incorporated, TMO, holder Smith Salley and Associates boosted stake. Investors' sentiment decreased to 0.91 in Q2 2017. It's down 0.04, from 0.95 in 2017 Q1. It dropped, as 43 investors sold TMO shares while 415 reduced holdings. 99 funds opened positions while 316 raised stakes. 323.23 million shares or 1.69 less from 328.77 million shares in 2017 Q1 were reported. Brown Brothers Harriman & Company reported 10,037 shares stake. First Pacific Advisors Limited Liability Corp owns 1.46 M shares or 1.93 of their U.S. portfolio. 2,793 were accumulated by Savant Cap Limited. 196,185 are owned by Metropolitan Life Insert Communication. The New Jersey-based Highlander Capital Management Limited Liability Corporation has invested 0.03 in Thermo Fisher Scientific Incorporated. NYSE TMO. K.N.B.T Capital Limited Liability Com reported 0.3 stake. Everett Harris & Co holds 13,127 shares. Williams Jones & Assoc LC holds 147,909 shares or 0.65 of its portfolio. Asset Management NY invested in 38 shares. Sumitomo Life Insurance reported 0.66 of its portfolio in Thermo Fisher Scientific Incorporated. NYSE TMO. LMR Limited Liability Partnership holds 0.13 or 11,615 shares in its portfolio. Colomos Limited Com invested in 0.19 or 144,997 shares. LPL Think Limited Liability holds 51,833 shares or 0.03 of its portfolio. Finkel Counselors Incorporated accumulated 63,244 shares. Campbell & Advisor Limited Liability holds 1.21 or 7,459 shares in its portfolio. Since June 1, 2017, it had 0 buys and 2 selling transactions for $3.90 million activity. Williamson Stephen also sold $440,650 worth of Thermo Fisher Scientific Incorporated. NYSE TMO, on Monday, June 5. Smith Salley and Associates increased its stake in Thermo Fisher Scientific Incorporated, TMO, by 1,159.71 based on its latest 2017 Q2 regulatory filing with the SEC. Smith Salley and Associates bought 25,270 shares as the company's stock rose 8.13 with the market. The institutional investor held 27,449 shares of the industrial machinery and components company at the end of 2017 Q2, valued at $4.79 million, up from 2,179 at the end of the previous reported quarter. Smith Salley and Associates, who had been investing in Thermo Fisher Scientific Incorporated for a number of months, seems to be bullish on the $77.19 billion market cap company. The stock increased 0.39 or 75 cents on November 24, reaching $193.51. About 374,481 shares traded. Thermo Fisher Scientific Incorporated. NYSE TMO has risen 15.57 since November 26, 2016 and is uptrending. It has underperformed by 1.13 the S&P 500. Smith Salley and Associates, which manages about $331.94 and $497. $44 million U.S. long portfolio, decreased its stake in American Eagle Group Incorporated, NYSE by 71,436 shares to 92,545 shares, valued at $5.79 in 2017 Q2, according to the filing. More notable recent Thermo Fisher Scientific Incorporated. NYSE TMO news were published by PrinceWire.com, which released, Thermo Fisher Scientific declares quarterly dividend on November 9, 2017. Also InvestorPlace.com with their article, Earnings Visibility Keep Thermo Fisher Scientific, TMO, a buy published on November 9, 2017. Nasdaq.com published, America First Capital Management, LLC buys Cisco Corp., Exelon Corp., Thermo and on November 17, 2017. More interesting news about Thermo Fisher Scientific Incorporated. NYSE TMO were released by InvestorPlace.com and their article, Thermo Fisher Scientific, TMO, upgraded to buy from a hold published on November 23, 2017, as well as PrinceWire.com's news article titled, Thermo Fisher Scientific recommends shareholders reject mini tender offer buy and with publication date, November 21, 2017. Thermo Fisher Scientific Incorporated. NYSE TMO, ratings coverage. Among 17 analysts covering Thermo Fisher Scientific, NYSE TMO, 16 have buy rating, 0 sell and 1 hold. Therefore 94 are positive. Thermo Fisher Scientific has $226 highest and $140 lowest target. $194.18's average target is 0.35 above current's $193.51 stock price. Thermo Fisher Scientific had 50 analyst reports since July 24, 2015 according to Ratings Intel. The stock of Thermo Fisher Scientific Incorporated. NYSE TMO earned overweight rating by J.P. Morgan on Thursday, September 22. The rating was maintained by Mizuho on Friday, May 27 with buy. The firm has neutral rating given on Friday, September 9 by Cleveland. The stock has buy rating by K.N.B.T on Wednesday, October 11. The firm has buy rating given on Monday, October 2 by Robert W. Baird. The stock of Thermo Fisher Scientific Incorporated. NYSE TMO has buy rating given on Wednesday, October 25 by K.N.B.T. On Tuesday, July 19, the stock rating was maintained by Barclays Capital with overweight. Barclays Capital maintained the stock with buy rating on Monday, September 25 report. The rating was maintained by K.N.B.T on Friday, September 8 with buy. Deutsche Bank maintained it with buy rating and $226 target in Thursday, October 26 report.